more stunned about the $49 million buyout part of this, that they're willing to do that. And as I wrote for us yesterday at Sporting News, like the next coach of Penn State, you're basically saying the next coach at Penn State, you're going to have to get to the playoff every year. I'm not sure this is a program that can do that.
When you say you're not sure it's a program that can do that, Bill, because we've watched them get to achieve heights where they are right there on the cusp. They're in the conversation. They lost to, we're 3 weeks removed from them losing to Oregon in double overtime. I mean, if Oregon's one of the best teams in the country, which I think a lot of people believe that they are, and you're a play away from winning that, this is a team that was a play away from making it to the national championship the previous year. They've always been in the conversation. They've always been in the mix. And in a 12-team playoff era over the last 10 years, they'd probably be in 3/4 of the time. I mean, what are those not realistic expectations then? Well,
I just think their expectation should be playoff contender. And, this is a program that they were called a national powerhouse by Patrick Kraft yesterday. They haven't won a national title since 1986. They came into the Big Ten in 1994, and they've won 4 conference championships. So it's not like I think they are Ohio State or Michigan. Those schools have combined for 5 national titles.
Bill Bennett joins us, Sporting News. Getting back to then talking about Ohio State and their game this week of Illinois. Defense did give up 16 points, but it still felt like a suffocating performance by Matty P's side of the ball.
Yeah, through 6 games, Ohio State's allowed 6.8 points per game. Since the BCS era started, the only defense that was better through 6 games was Georgia in 21 with 5.5. I mean, the defense is making plays. I see Arvell Reese clips on X every Sunday. They played very well. Now, Illinois finally did score on them in the red zone, which that became a game in itself, right? Like 10 trips into the red zone and somebody finally scores on a double handoff. Defense is very good, and heading into Wisconsin, and you want to talk about another mess right now, the Badgers on offense. I'm wondering if they have their kind of stand-up moment, but they're really struggling on the offensive side of the ball.
So staying in the Big Ten there, Indiana going out to Oregon, and, after Indiana beat Illinois, they opened my eyes. And I didn't know if they'd be able to beat Oregon, but I thought it would be a score game. It was not a 1-score game. It was a 2-score game, and Indiana was on the top of that, kneeing it out and giving the ball back to Oregon with 30 seconds saying, do your best. Are you surprised, not just that they won, but in the manner of which they won with a dominating performance on the ground and really a stifling defense?
Yeah, and in a good way. I mean, I, without hesitation, put Indiana number 3 in my poll yesterday, and I'm okay if you want to put them at number 2. Josh Perry was talking about that on the NBC telecast Friday, and he was talking about their offensive line and defensive line. They've got it in the trenches. They kind of bullied Oregon a little bit. And, without Mendoza doesn't throw a pick 6, it might have been worse. So Kurt Cignetti's got it going on, and it kind of ties back to Penn State. There are a lot of Penn State fans that are going to want him as the next coach. And if I'm Kurt Cignetti, I'm staying right where I'm at because he's got a good thing rolling in Bloomington, and I think they're going to continue to be good.
Are you saying, Bill, that the Indiana job, as currently comprised, is better than the Penn State job?
I'm saying it in a way that, like, why would you leave at 63 years old? You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be a legend in Indiana forever. It doesn't matter if they go 7-5 next year. They'll still love him because they're going to go to the playoff for the second straight year. They're probably going to go to the Big Ten championship game for the first time, whereas Franklin won 10 or more games each of the last 3 years, made the college football playoff semifinal, and now he's got that. I mean, like I said, I can't get away from $49 million buyout. I don't think I'd leave the house if I got one of those.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Give me $49 million, you'll never see me again. Bill, I'm curious, one of the names thrown out there as a possibility for Penn State is their former linebacker, Matt Rule. Do you think that's a viable option?
I mean, I think that's got to be the guy. if you're Penn State. He played there, obviously, from 1994 to 97. He's got Nebraska in the top 25 heading into the game against Minnesota on Friday. I've always liked Matt Rule. I think he's great for the college game. He's got a lot of passion. He's a football historian. But the drawback would be, does he have a better college football resume than James Franklin? Other than he played at Penn State. The top 10, like I said, you'll have to beat top 10 teams. You'll have to get to the playoff every year. They're going to expect a national championship, which they haven't won in 40 years. So, but I do think he's the most logical candidate for the job.
It does make sense that that's where they would go. As I was listening around and like trying to figure this out of what qualifications, Matt Rule has that connection. I think Penn State is a place where if you have, a connection like that would be, it's something that would probably be valued. They want someone that's maybe understands everything there, maybe, a little bit better outside of Matt Rule. Like, let's just say, for instance, that he doesn't want to leave Nebraska. And I don't know if that's the case or not. I mean, they've got to get somebody that can get them over the hump. Is there anyone else out there that you're looking to think that they could be a viable candidate that would be able to elevate this program?
Well, so if it's not Cignetti or Rule, and I think that's their list.
It's like Matt Campbell on that list?
That's the next guy to me, because I've always wondered what he would do at a major Big Ten program. And his stock has kind of fluctuated at Iowa State, but go look at Iowa State before Matt Campbell. Yeah. It's not good. He's done a fantastic job there. I think he would do well. The other name to just keep an eye on, and he hasn't coached in a couple years, like Pat Fitzgerald would do well at Penn State.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, he did a fantastic job at Northwestern. He's 50 years old. He always got more with less. Matt Campbell and him fit that. Want to see what they would do in a place with more resources.
That's a great point. I think about, Matt Campbell would be a good one to have in there as well. Yes. It's interesting. Bobby brought that up about the prestige of the Penn State job, or the chance to put a winning program together. Expectations will be sky high. The best thing Matt Rule's got going for him is he hasn't lost some games that he should have won under a big spotlight lately, whereas that's all Franklin seemed to do.
Right, and these last 2 weeks. I mean, I would say it this way, from the shock value we were talking about earlier. When I left that Penn State-Oregon game, I would have never imagined that the Nittany Lions would have lost the next two games to UCLA and Northwestern and lost their quarterback, and it got to the point where it got. There is a risk in what they're doing, too. I mean, there's no guarantees with the next hire. Who's to say Penn State doesn't become a 7-5 type program in this new Big Ten, where it's clearly hard to travel, and it's there's more competitive teams in the conference. Michigan found that out on Saturday night. They looked slow on defense against a very good USC team that's now going to play Notre Dame on Saturday. It's going to be tougher to win 9-10 games in this league.
So I think we know Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon are all very good. After that, when you start talking like USC, who just beat Michigan, Illinois, who beat USC, I mean, Penn State that's fallen apart. I mean, who are kind of your next 3 or 4 teams, or however many you think, that have a viable shot that could maybe be that fourth team making the playoff?
I think that USC-Michigan game gave the Trojans an opportunity to go to Notre Dame on Saturday. And if USC can beat Notre Dame, they're going to be in that conversation. They do play Oregon, and I thought their offense looked very good. Jaden Mayava was very efficient. They looked good on both sides of the ball. Mekhi Lemon's one of the best receivers in the country, so I think they would have a chance. Illinois, their schedule's still set up that if they went 10-2, they could probably get in. Michigan facing a little bit of a tougher road with that, and they're playing a pretty good Washington team on Saturday. So there are several teams in the mix. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Illinois or Nebraska based on their schedule could get to 10-2. Nebraska would be that we were just talking about Matt Rule. What if they're in the playoff push? That would make it very tough to leave.
Yeah, you're right about that. Did Lincoln Riley just remember how to coach all of a sudden, or is that just because they finally righted the ship just personnel-wise and coordinator-wise?
I think they just ran the ball effectively on top of what Jaden Mayava was doing, and their defense a little bit better against the run. So, and some of it is this weird, travel trend in the Big Ten. It just continues. I mean, Indiana beat that trend, and Ohio State beat that trend. So it's not an accident to me that those are right now the two best teams in the conference. And I never thought I would say this, but if Ohio State and Indiana played in the Big Ten championship game, I would be super excited to see it because of what these teams do up front.
Well, I don't think anybody ever thought playing the game in Indianapolis would give Indiana a home game for a Big Ten championship or a home-ish game, if you will. But they definitely have something going there. Before we get you out of here, how will we remember the James Franklin tenure at Penn State?
Well, I mean, coming out of the sanctions they were in, he really took the next step after Bill O'Brien. And like I said, I'll remember it for Saquon Barkley and Trace McSorley and these really, like I said, 10, 11-win teams that just could, but that tagline will always be couldn't win against top 10 teams. They did win a Big Ten championship in 2016, but they couldn't take that next step from there. So he's obviously a good coach, high winning percentage, and produced a lot of NFL players, Parsons and so many. But they are, as crazy as it sounds, they made a little bit of an emotional decision after the last 3 weeks, and they better hire the right guy next.
You're the man, Bill. Thanks for time, buddy. We appreciate it. We'll talk again next week.
Hey, no problem, guys. Have a great week.
That was Bill Bennett of Sporting News joining us right there. Coming up next, Quick Hitters, Morning Juice.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Okay, let's go. Top row.
EYECARE.
Good. Next row.
AM America? iCareAmerica.org?
Yes. I Care America helps seniors who haven't had a medical eye exam in 3 or more years. They also help those with an increased risk for glaucoma, and the appointment is often free or at no out-of-pocket cost. It's easy to see if you qualify. Go to EYECareAmerica.org.
Diane from Michigan, a disabled senior citizen trying to get by. Henry from Florida, a veteran fighting to make ends meet. Elena from Arizona, a mother struggling to feed her daughter. Hi, I'm Connie Britton, and I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year, like Diane, Henry, and Elena. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
As we wonder why our kids are struggling, someone is getting bullied. As we discuss how to improve their mental health, someone is being harassed on social media. As we wonder why they're skipping school, someone is crying themselves to sleep. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent bullying.
Please just leave me alone.
Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other, leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
We built a brand new studio just for Bobby, and Tito has already ruined it just by being here.
I'm pregnant.
This is Morning Juice.
Yeah, my microphone, that was on me, Bodie. I said Morning Juice without the microphone being on. One of the rare things going wrong here. Let's do some quick hitters.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
Good morning, he's Bodie Wells.
Happy Monday, fellas. A huge, maybe the biggest college football weekend ever. Or not. But nevertheless, I'll kind of just tee it up for you guys here. Take it wherever you want to go. Probably the biggest win of the weekend was Indiana going on the road and beating Oregon and looking like the better team from start to finish to do it.
Dude, they won by 10 points and threw a pick six.
Biggest win of the season? Maybe, right? Most impressive win of the season.
I think that's fair.
I don't know. UCLA just bludgeoning Penn State out there.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything on the line for UCLA. This was a very significant
Getting a win.
Right. This
James Franklin's job.
I would say Alabama going to Georgia is up there, too.
But I would say this in the defense of Thitoff, since everybody says I'm mean to him too much. I don't know how many people actually expected Indiana to go in there and win.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And especially not in that fashion.
Yeah.
So, like, Bama and Georgia, you can see either team that was winning. Like, just Indiana, just because of the brand of what it is and what they've been, I don't think anybody had realistic expectations for them winning that game.
Yes. I really thought that Oregon win by at least 6.5. That's what I had. 7.5 was too big.
I could have swore they were going to win by 7.
6.5 I thought was the number over there, Bob, and I felt good about it. But yeah, I don't, and I hate doing it because I've been the one who's calling Signetti Indiana fraud, and now they're sitting there number 3 in the country, which is amazing. I said last year would be the greatest year they'd ever have under Kurt Signetti.
Or said, Google me.
Yeah.
Google me.
Who else do they have left?
You're going to throw shade.
Maryland's their toughest
they've
game.
They've got Penn State, and that's in Hoosierville. I was hoping that was going to be the one that James Franklin got the guillotine. They just walked him out there, and Kurt Signetti just stares him down. You've got all these resources. You've got all this, and you can't win a damn game.
You're right. That's the one, the Penn State game. But I don't.
More likely to get to the Big Ten championship at 12-0, Indiana or Ohio State?
You mean get to
Indy at 12-0? Not win the game, just get there. Go undefeated.
I think Ohio
season.
State, because I think they're still better. The Penn State game doesn't loom near as large anymore.
Not. It's really just. Let me ask you this:
it's being Michigan.
Who would have a harder time? Who would Ohio State have a harder time with? Michigan. Or if you could combine the rosters of every other team they play and just put them all on one field before they play Michigan. UCLA, Penn State.
Penn State has good
Wisconsin.
players.
Do they?
They should.
I feel like
they have everyone back sans 2 top first-round picks last year, which are very good. But
I know they're not, don't get me wrong, they're not as bad as they've played. I just think like this Franklin thing, the way it went, like he's always just been such a guy that'll get them to their floor.
Yeah.
They could be
get them to the floor.
He would. He wouldn't get them to their ceiling, but he would get them to the floor of whatever they were capable of. And the fact,
Bodie, I'm going to be honest with you. That's one of the best and most accurate assessments I've ever really heard.
Thank you, Bob.
It's a great way of describing it.
And the fact that now Aller's out, which, I don't know, maybe it's addition by subtraction.
Listen, if I was sitting there and I'm James Franklin, I'm watching Missouri play Alabama, and I'm thinking,
that was our
why this? Maybe milk was a bad choice. I picked the wrong. Maybe I picked the wrong guy.
It's amazing when you look at how many teams that I thought had more than one loss that only have one loss. For instance, like USC, only have one loss. That surprises me.
Illinois.
Illinois.
It's because they weren't ranked.
Nebraska.
Tell me a world where a 4-1 USC team wasn't going to be ranked.
Yeah.
With a 2-point loss.
1 point loss.
At 1 point, yeah. I mean, they barely got beat.
I mean, Nebraska has just one loss.
Yes.
Matt Rule said, who'd they beat Saturday? Maryland, I think, right? Poor Maryland. They
had them too. Maryland had them.
Of course they did. It's kind of what Maryland does. They were up 20-0 a couple
Mike
weeks ago on
Loxley, see that floor guy, him and James Franklin, we'll get you to the floor.
If the floor's 3 wins, yeah.
Fantastic by Brody on that one, by the way, Bob. You're right. That's a great call.
Matt Rule said after they beat Maryland on Saturday, I think, something along the lines of, the narrative that Nebraska doesn't win close games is over. I'm like, well, maybe... I don't know if beating Maryland is the
but they used to lose to everybody.
That's fair.
It didn't matter who it could have been.
He said,
one possession game.
Nebraska,
here you go.
He said those days are over because I'm going to Happy Valley, fellas. I'll see you later.
Yeah,
but continue, Tito. A lot of one-loss teams.
A lot of teams
that there.
when you look at I can't believe like USC with how much we have. I don't say degraded, but how much we've looked down on USC. They've only got one loss, and they got a big chance. This week's game is an elimination game for USC and Notre Dame, right?
I think definitely Notre Dame.
Not USC.
Probably not USC, but it's close.
The thing that I don't think they planned on was Indiana being potentially undefeated. Because if not, you would think that one loss, you would have a good chance at making the conference championship.
Right.
But here's the problem. This is what we deal with in the Big Ten. They don't play Ohio State or Indiana, so they don't control their destiny of being able to give them a loss.
Right. Yeah.
To then even the score, and you would have a tiebreaker in head-to-head. So, I mean, they could go 11-1, and they go 10-2 and lose to Notre Dame and still have one loss in the conference, but be sitting on the outside. They might still get in with that, but you don't have a chance to win your conference championship at that point.
USC is at Notre Dame. The next week they're at Nebraska, and then they're at Oregon. Also, that's 3 of their games. Not all row.
I think that's enough to a close loss this weekend, but 10-2 could still get them into the playoffs.
If you beat Oregon, if you're going to beat Oregon, you got a shot.
And even in between there, they got Northwestern and Iowa. I know those 2 teams aren't great, but beating a 7 or 8 win Northwestern or Iowa team does stack up versus beating 4-win teams over the course of a year.
I don't know how Northwestern beat Penn State. I watched it. So I know how it happened.
I saw it happen.
Penn State could not stop Northwestern running the football. And I'm sitting there with your guy, the aforementioned Jeff Backus, Mr. Football and state champion in 2000. And he's like, we're sitting there watching this together. Jeff attended Northwestern. And I'm like, there's no way Northwestern has better players than Penn State. And there's no reason on God's green earth that Northwestern should be able to line up and run the football when they know they're running the football. Like, the Jim Knowles $3.1 million defense looking pretty good. Looking pretty good right now.
So you could have, for instance, we both, or all of us believe Indiana and Ohio State are going to be locks with CFP. Okay. After that, you've got, if USC loses this weekend, but then beats Oregon.
Unless Oregon, spirals. Unless Dan Lanning caught that disease from James Franklin in Happy Valley last weekend, I think Oregon's probably going to be no worse than 10-2.
That's right. Well, let's say USC loses the weekend, but then beats Oregon. All of a sudden, now you've got USC as a 2-loss team and Oregon as a 2-loss team.
I think both of those teams
get in.
I think both
get four from the Big Ten. Then, After that, you got Michigan, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Iowa.
Oh, those teams are done.
Yeah.
Michigan would have to win out probably at this point.
They would. Yeah, they got 2 losses.
ACC's a one big league at this point. I thought Florida State, their win over Alabama would carry the day, that even if they were 9-2 or 10-2, maybe, didn't win the conference, they would get in.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's still undefeated,
though.
Yeah. They play Georgia.
They play Georgia, but they don't play anybody else. So they're going to be 11-1 going in the ACC championship. Now, the only thing is if Georgia just, bludgeons them, I think that would hurt. But last year they almost beat Georgia, so I don't know.
That one is the Big 12 has still kind of got some stuff to get sorted out as well. Brigham Young, they're undefeated. Texas Tech.
Yeah,
Texas Tech. Him Brigham Young. I don't know if I've heard anyone call him Brigham Young in 5 years.
Bring him old, Bob.
That was a great phrase. If you're going to Brigham Young, yeah.
BYU is still undefeated. Texas Tech is undefeated. Their quarterback can't stay healthy, but they keep bludgeoning.
They're good.
They're smoking people. Utah's back in the mix at 5-1. They smoked Arizona State on Saturday night. I think Arizona State's quarterback was out in that one, but nevertheless. And then Cincinnati, they jumped into the top 25. Yeah. They're 5-1 as well.
Undefeated in the Big 12.
BYU, Texas Tech, and all 3-0 and undefeated in the conference there. Got the Holy War this weekend between BYU and Utah. Flashing back to Saturday here, I'll just run through a few scores if you guys want to jump on a game, just holler. Ole Miss survives a scare against Washington State. They beat them 24-21. That was a look-ahead game for them. They come off the LSU win, and then they got Georgia this weekend. We're going to start to figure out some stuff in the SEC
Did you hear Lane Kiffin's comments about Chambliss? He's like, we're done with that D2 stuff. I told him to leave that there, going back.
Ty Simpson and the Alabama Crimson Tide. I'm not sure how they lost to Florida State because Florida State looks like they're a mess again all of a sudden.
Lord, yes.
But Bama looks good. They look like they're kind of going to be right back in the thick of this thing.
Missouri had shots to beat them.
They did.
They're good.
Poor Auburn just gets hosed every week by the SEC officials.
That's terrible. That was a touchdown.
Yes, it absolutely
was a touchdown. And it should have been 17-0.
Holding or PI where it's judgment call, man. And then they go on to lose.
Across the line.
It absolutely did. I completely agree. Speaking of SEC teams, Texas gets a massive win in the Red River rivalry. John Mateer struggled mightily. I didn't see a ton of that game, but just seeing the numbers, I have to assume that thumb injury, he didn't feel great there. Yeah. And Oklahoma, and all of a sudden, Brent Venables, if you kind of look, they still got to go to South Carolina. They got home games against here's the rest of their schedule with one loss on the docket. And all of a sudden, some of their wins, like that Michigan win that felt big at the time in the non-conference there, doesn't feel like that great. They got to still host Ole Miss, host Missouri and LSU. That's 3 teams in the top 20 there. And then they still go to Tennessee and to Alabama. So Oklahoma feels like a team that could we'll see. They got a lot of opportunity to bounce back, but could quickly fall out of the race there.
Well, sure, Oklahoma and Texas both. I mean, it's like that Texas.
They're both like right up against it now. Texas had to have that win to keep their season alive. And now Oklahoma's.
With what happened to Johnny Mateer, I said if they split against Texas, and I said this 4 weeks ago, or 3 weeks right after it happened, like if they split against Texas and South Carolina, they'll be in decent shape. So they lost to Texas. They didn't look great. If Mateer can get healthier and they can play better, beat South Carolina, then you've still got some leeway for one more SEC loss over your last 5 games or 4, whatever that is. So they've just got to get this next win and then have a shot.
So Texas is scheduled now. They've got, they play at Kentucky, at Mississippi State, host Vandy, at Georgia, host Arkansas, host A&M.
They've got their next 3, they've got some winnable games in there.
Yeah.
And then last but not least here, guys, looks like Miami's just going to, they were off this past weekend, but looks like they're just going to roll to the ACC title game at 12-0 if they keep playing like they are. And we'll see if they meet either Virginia or Georgia Tech in that championship game. If you had that on your bingo card 2 months ago, God bless you. And then speaking of the Sunshine State, South Florida, still got a lot of work to do, but they are in the driver's seat for the Group of 5 bid if they win the American. Yes, the American
AAC,
Conference.
right? Just call American now, don't they?
But that's right. That is true. Good point. American. But they still do go on the road to Memphis, who's 22nd in the rankings.
Do you play for?
When you pull that jersey on. And then they also have to go on the road against a undefeated Navy team. Memphis and Navy are still both undefeated. South Florida, though, highest in the rankings due to some of those early season wins. They're 5-1.
Yeah, South Florida.
What I got you for you.
I watched them play. They looked good Friday night. Yeah, it was
They're good. They're a very good team.
They went on the road, beat North Texas. I know, North Texas. But they were undefeated, and they smoked them.
Well, it was tied at halftime.
It was close. It was 21-20 at the half. Yeah. Then it went sideways for.
Then they found the floor.
Yes, then they found the floor. That's great by Bodie.
The ceiling is the floor for James Franklin.
Coming next top of the hour, we'll talk more about the James Franklin situation, see some viable options there, and also hear from Ryan Day. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Leadership is the thing that turns good teams into great teams. And it's not just having someone who's vocal in the locker room. It's about that person being able to back it up on the field. It's the same with business. Some of the best companies are born from great leaders who aren't afraid of getting their hands dirty. Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, know a thing or two about that.
Thanks, Bobby. There's no substitute for doing the right thing, and often the hard thing in business. Managing the books, cash flow, and sales tracking are important, but not as important as developing a team.
Spot on, Chuck. All the great leaders you and I have had the opportunity to watch aren't afraid to jump in the field and get things done. That's the mentality we want around here, and that's what we strive for every day. We can all agree that greatness comes from work, leaders lead by example, and those two things will never change.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's been over 2 years since Bobby Carpenter had regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics. He needed relief from knee pain, but he wanted to avoid surgery.
I thought I might have to have my knee scoped, had some injuries, some lingering pain from stuff that I had been dealing with from years of playing professional football, and things had kind of flared up again. I started talking to a friend of mine who's orthopedic, and he was like, well, try to avoid surgery if you can.
And you absolutely can avoid surgery. QC Kinetics provides patients with state-of-the-art regenerative treatments, orthobiologics from your own body that help heal and restore damaged, aching joints. And we'll let Bobby tell you about that.
It was all of a sudden that one day, a couple months later, I was here, let's go jog, let's try to see what I could do. And the more I did, I was pain-free with it, and it was actually a pretty remarkable process.
Before going under the knife, see if you're a candidate for non-surgical joint pain treatments at QC Kinetics. Call them today.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
I'm Shanola Hampton. Every day, millions of people face hunger. Today, I will share with you some of their experiences. I'm stuck between paying for medications or paying for food. John from Maine. After paying my bills, I can buy groceries. It's sad to say, food comes last. Alice from Oregon. I thought pantries were for less fortunate people, but anybody could be less fortunate in a day or even a second. Claire from Virginia. The Feeding America network of food banks helps provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. No one should have to worry where their next meal will come from. Together, we can end hunger. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS-FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Monday, jam-packed Monday, not jam-panked Monday. That's different. Bob, somebody wanted me to ask you your thoughts on the Anthony Richardson injury. Did you hear how Anthony Richardson got hurt?
No.
Okay. He was working out with elastic bands.
Did one snap him on him?
One snap, got him back in the face. He had to go to the hospital.
Ooh, that's tough. If he had to go to the hospital, probably hit his eye. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you this. I've had bands pop on me before.
Uh-huh.
It does not feel good. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that I watching Passion of the Christ and know exactly what that felt like, but It did not. Like, I mean, there was a third dimension to my skin after I got hit with that, and like I felt it break. We were doing these big, thick, long blue ones. We were working back and forth, and I could feel it go. Like you felt the tension release. And I'm like trying to run away from it, but it's attached to my waist. So I am the heat seeker. It is coming back. I'm like trying to like dip and roll, and nothing right on my back. And it did not feel good. It was 20 years ago in college, and it was brutal.
Indianapolis lost 2 guys to injuries in warm-ups. Some dude got nailed. Was it with a ball? And I think he went under, had to go into concussion protocol.
Come on, hit in the face of
I'm just telling you what I saw on the internet, Bob. There was 2 guys that all of a sudden, about 12:30, it's like, hey, Anthony Richardson's out, and so is this. I think it was a defensive back. And I was like, what in the world is happening?
It was the defensive back was hurt, and he was getting loose before the team's game against Cardinals when he collided with a teammate and suffered a concussion.
Oh, collided with a teammate. Okay.
That's what it was.
That's better.
Still,
ish.
Warm it up, dude. You're warming up.
Dudes run into each other.
They did win, so
it's just crazy. The Cardinals tried to give it away.
Jacoby Brissett?
They got the brisket man in there. Marv got hurt. He got his.
Yeah, I did see that.
Got a concussion.
Patrick said that Bond got hit with a ball. Isaiah Bond, that wide receiver, is that who it is? Is that the Bond wide receiver?
Well, he plays for
Cleveland, right? Who's Bond? Maybe Bond. Maybe it's a Browns.
Gold, maybe. Gold.
Could be that, yes. Bob, will James Franklin ever have a job as prestigious as the one he just lost?
It's a good question. There's going to be some big jobs that'll be open.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, James Franklin made Penn State a lot more okay. He made them a viable national championship contender. And if you're at a place where you want to get to that point where you're consistently good, maybe he's the guy you get there. Now, if you're thinking this is a guy to take us in and get us over the hump, probably not. But I would say if you look at a program, two of the Florida schools come to mind. If you're Florida or Florida State, and depending if you decide to make a move, is he a guy that you would consider? He's not a great X's and O's coach, but he's a good administrator. And I talked to, ironically, two of the guys who I was coached with yesterday are both Penn State alums. And, they're like, look at what he did to Penn State. People forget about this. Coming out of Bill O'Brien, he was there for a couple of years. Bill, I thought, got things from dumpster fire to...
He cleaned up the place.
He had to come in after the Paterno situation. Granted, his first game, he loses to the Ohio Bobcats. Let's go, Bobcats. Oh, yeah. Going from that to being 8-4, and you're like, okay. And then James Franklin comes in, and they win a Big Ten championship.
Sure.
It's Saquon Barkley, Micah Parsons. You look at all of the great players that rolled through there, and they were a viable contender over your niece. Now, they could never beat Michigan and Ohio State consistently. I think of his 4-21 against top 10 teams, he's 1-18 against those teams that are Big Ten. Basically, he just could never beat Ohio State or Michigan when they were good. I mean, that's basically what
maybe
he
this was going to be the year.
But I'm wondering,
he's robbed of that opportunity, Bodie.
Okay. I was trying to think of a school that might hire him. And when you look at James Franklin, the problem is
Arkansas.
With how much
UCLA.
Okay. Not as prestigious.
But if they're willing to invest.
Right.
And he's sitting there thinking okay, he can administer. James Franklin can raise money now. And he can be a guy that's glad-handing people. I mean, he's a salesman. He'd come to the Columbus Touchdown Club here. I mean, I remember him talking. Beanie and I are there, and Beanie's son's like, I'd like to be the first to offer your son a scholarship.
I remember that. Yes, I do remember that.
Just stuff like that. I mean, it's who he is. And he's pandering all the time. He's like, you look really good in some white and navy, whatever the heck he said. I'm like,
in the shower.
Of course. Yeah, well, easy.
That's all.
But, that's him. And so, you get him to UCLA. UCLA's not trying to win a national championship. They just don't want to be bad anymore.
They want to be talked about. They want to be talked about.
How can we be in a conversation? Right. If you could say, hey, we get you at UCLA to a 9-3, average record, sign me up. That's not a bad situation. So, that's what he needs. If you're a school like that, that's kind of, I think, what they're looking for. They're not looking for someone that's going to get them to a national championship and find a way to go, bring home the banners. We just don't want to be a joke, okay? Just make it so that when we play, hey, we're beating all the teams that we feel like we're supposed to beat.
With how much of football now is tied in with fundraising and NIL and all these things that you talk about, Franklin could be good at it.
Ryan Day spent a lot of time.
No, what I'm saying, though, is that I
not
wonder
coaching football, but doing his job.
If you hire James Franklin at, say, Florida State, like you're talking about, if that happened to be in play, based on his reputation,
I don't know if people would be happy.
I'm saying I wonder if the fan base would be turned off by that. And I'm not saying he's not a good coach. I think he's a good coach.
Well, it's he's never won anything. Well, neither have we in a long time.
No, you're right.
We're just trying to get to be good. We just want to be good again. Can we just be Missouri? If you're if you're Florida, Missouri is probably going to win 9 or 10 games again. That'll be 3 years in a row Drinkwitz has had them in that situation. Florida, you can talk about we want national titles. Before you win a national championship, you just got to be good. Okay? We got to just get back to the good plane.
Sure.
And I think for schools like Florida and even Arkansas, like I don't know about like the fit.
They're hiring
but
Bobby
if you
Petrino,
probably
I can't cheer
They
against
almost
that.
knocked off Tennessee on Saturday.
That's why I didn't mention him there because I like that.
But
you like that
you like that. With Arkansas, I don't know how James Franklin would fit down there, but if you just look at the resume, I think that would be a pretty good hire. Arkansas is not going to be a program that's going to compete for national titles on a consistent basis.
But if you give him money,
But if they hired him, their fan base would be outraged.
Yeah.
And it's because so many programs, especially down in the southeast part of the country, think that, you're not entitled to anything. You want answers? So many of the, Florida, I think, is on a different level, different tier than Arkansas is. But it's like they all just expect to hire Urban Meyer or, the next that we could just go get. I mean, I know it's Twitter and seeing those lists on Twitter are always stupid, but even like Penn State, I see it's like, okay, here's our hot board: Matt Rule, Marcus Freeman, Dan Lanning, and you're like, okay, you're 0 for 3. Well, you might hire Rule, but I don't think you're going to hire Marcus Freeman or Dan Lanning from Notre Dame or Oregon. But and like I said,
they're going to fire Marcus Freeman.
Well, we were going to fire Chris Ash too, and now he's going to win the Broyles Award, Bob.
The problem with, I think, fair or unfair with Franklin is when Brody mentioned it, the floor thing, which is true, but I think that fans see a ceiling with Franklin.
Yeah.
Okay.
People
and it's not national championship.
Yeah.
It's not winning a conference championship in all likelihood. It is. So if Florida or Florida State hires him,
disappointed in every big game.
It's going to be it's whereas UCLA, I think it'd be great at UCLA. I think UCLA would be a great spot for him.
We're going to hire James Franklin, Florida State. We're never going to win the ACC. We're probably never going to beat Florida, but we're going to go 10-2 every year.
We'll go 10-2. We'll be in the playoffs. So that's why we'll be in the playoff conversationally. So that's where I think
and so many of those programs have expectations of winning national championships.
They do,
even if they shouldn't. Florida State, Florida, I think that's fair. I mean, they've both won titles this century, but like Arkansas, it's like, that 1960 or 61 national championship, whatever it was. Jerry Jones was playing on that team.
Right, yes, he was. Yes,
he turned 83 years old today.
He'd give you a thumbs up or a finger, whatever.
He did tell 105 through the fan on his pregame radio hit yesterday because that's what we got to do for the owner there, general manager. He said he taped his fingers together so he couldn't do that yesterday.
Smart play by him.
Did he really?
Maybe he flipped off his own team.
Right.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he did.
God bless him. And God bless Shiloh. He always let me win.
Right. He'll win half the time. Most of the time, he let me win, yes. If you bring in a coach, if you hire a new head coach who hasn't been a head coach before, but has been a great coordinator somewhere, we don't know what that ceiling is.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Both ways, though.
Yes,
you're right. They are.
You're right. And much like when Notre Dame hired Jerry Faust, never hired a high school coach like that. Notre Dame
will win the national championship.
Right. You never know. But with James Franklin, that's what's going to hinder him. Is it?
He'll find the floor. Now, the floor will be pretty high, but he'll find it.
Yeah.
So, Ryan Day spoke after, I know I kind of said it facetiously about how the defense sucked because he gave up 16 points after not giving up more than 9 points in a game at all this season. But here's Ryan Day talking about doing what they needed to do.
The thing that was tricky was it's a good thing, but we were in plus territory a lot. It's hard to be explosive as you get into the plus 25 area because, as you know, the field gets pulled down, and then when we were a little bit towards midfield, they were playing a little bit more coverage, and again that goes back to the unselfishness of our team and understanding what needs to get done. And there's a lot of plays that we're going to want back, but I thought there was a lot of good physical runs down there where we punched the ball in, and like you said, did what we had to do to win the game. That's the bottom line.
Methodical, Bob, right?
Yeah.
It was like we both said, never in doubt. Never in doubt.
That game was never a risk. Like, you never looked at that and thought they're going to lose that game. Like, they were controlling it. They moved the ball at some points. It was really hard for them to get in the end zone. They got down there. In Ohio State, okay, we're down here on the goal line. All right, let's just throw it up to JJ. Oh, there's a touchdown. Like, you want to play in man coverage, that's a touchdown.
Right.
So that's the reality of kind of where it was. Like, you felt like this team could always not that Ryan's like holding them back, but there's an opportunity there if they really want to go pedal down that they could always go get it.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way too. And it's a thing where when teams get inside the red zone against Ohio State, it's not like write it down, they're getting points. You know what I mean? Because Ohio State
3 points.
They get maybe you get 3, but
Sure,
I'm saying
yeah.
like even so,
Best case scenario.
Yes, even so though, it's like as you're watching the game, it's like Ohio State is. I don't want to say they're playing with their food a little bit, but they kind of were. I thought.
Well, playing with their food, they were moving the football and scoring. Everybody wants to see them just score touchdowns on every play. Just throw it deep to Jeremiah. Go do this. Like the game was never in doubt.
Right.
So I mean, and by the way, Illinois is a good football team. Like that, they were a top 25 football team on the road.
Yeah.
Like so, the thought that like, hey, playing with their food, like it wasn't like they were having turnovers or being sloppy. You know, they moved it. You want to maybe see some more touchdowns. I get it. Like I'm there, but you also won the game 38-16. Like it was 38-10.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're up by 4 touchdowns late in the game. What are we talking about?
Sonny Siles talked about things that the defense has to work on before Wisconsin.
Really got to correct our mistakes. We had a lot of mistakes out there today. Just keep getting better. Just keep turning it up. You know, I thought we left a little bit out there, but we got the ball, so that was great. 3 turnovers. That's good football, but we still thought we could have played a lot better.
BDTM, otherwise known as McChickens in the chat, said every team's going to go up tempo now against us and dink and dunk against Ohio State. And
here's the thing. Up tempo works great as long as you're moving the football.
Right.
The minute you don't get a first down, then you give it back to Ohio State.
You're going to get blown out.
And they just sit there with those 7-minute drives and just grind you down the field. Like, that's the problem. So, dink and dunk. And by the way, when you're up by that much, go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
If you're not going to win the game.
Right.
So, you might get some points here or there, and depending on where you got Ohio State, you win by, what was that, 18 points? No, I think they even covered the initial line. So you should be good, unless there was some in-game action you had. But good coaches win, great coaches cover, buddy.
Yes,
Remember that. James Franklin used to be a great coach, okay? But, like, dink and dunk, like, if it's a game that's tight, there's mechanisms you can do to stop that. Now, the problem is it maybe puts you at risk for some bigger plays and other stuff down the field, and it's like, well, why do that at this point? They can't beat us driving the ball that takes 4 or 5 minutes to win.
So last year I ripped Cignetti for going conservative against Ohio State when he knew he couldn't win. Did Bielema do the same thing?
I think a little bit. He realized it was going to be really hard to score in Ohio State, and they weren't going to really be able to stop him significantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he went conservative in it, but here's the thing. With as much pressure as they were started to get on Altmaier, they got some good shots on him.
Oh,
He
sure.
threw a pick. They put the ball down. I think he probably didn't want to try to drop him back and say, okay, let's try to push the ball down the field. Like a ton. They took some shots.
Right.
They got some calls. Probably not as many as they would have liked, but I mean, that's what it was. So it just becomes like, what's the risk reward in this situation?
When I go ahead, buddy.
It's also probably not a bad call, too,
Sure.
Not only talking about not getting Altmaier killed, but they already got a 63-7 loss on the resume.
Yeah.
This stuff matters at the end of the year. If they're going to be, let's say they win out, and I don't know if they're capable of that or not. I don't know their schedule off the top of my head, but let's just say they do. They're going to be right in the thick of it amongst many 10-2 and probably some 9-3 SEC teams and maybe even a couple 9-3 Big Ten teams, where you're going to be looking at their resume and really comparing it to some teams that it's like, well,
Do you want a second
played
blowout
Ohio
on there?
exactly, and like that the Indiana loss was so bad. Like they got so ran off the field that at least like sort of semi hanging in there with Ohio State, and the final score doesn't look too bad. I mean, that certainly helped Indiana last year get in.
Illinois is off this week, then they travel to Washington, which could be an elimination game for them at that point, I would think, because I don't think 3 losses gets them in.
No
Host
chance.
Rutgers, host Maryland, at Wisconsin, host Northwestern.
Okay, so there's nobody on the schedule that they shouldn't definitely be able to beat. Not saying
They'll be
anybody
favored in
definitely
every
will.
game.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know about
Washington, yeah.
At Washington, Washington's look good, and
they have. It depends on what they do this week against Michigan. If they beat Michigan, is that who they have this week?
That's the big noon kickoff.
Yeah,
Yep.
if they have Michigan, then that
I think it's in Ann Arbor, if I'm not
it's
mistaken.
in Ann Arbor. I believe you're right on that one. Yeah, it's in Ann Arbor for the big noon kick on that one. But yes, so that right there, though, yes, that will be a very significant game. And by the way, Williams, their quarterback, has looked great outside of against Ohio State.
Because he's good.
Right. We play the same thing for Altmaier, too. Altmaier, granted, against Indiana, he struggled. But I'm saying,
It's USC, this USC defense that looked good. They didn't look good against Illinois.
I think Saturday night was more of a Michigan's offense is just another season of, oh boy, they can't move the football very well. And maybe Underwood will be good in the long run, but right now they're
He's a true freshman.
Yeah,
That's
I'm not killing him or writing him off by any stretch, but that offense has still got a lot to get figured out.
They do. They're 4-2 overall, 2-1 of the Big Ten. They've got the game against Washington. They're at Michigan State. Michigan then is hosts Purdue, at Northwestern, at Maryland, and then obviously game to end the season at home against Ohio State. So, if they can, that Washington gives me a big game for them. If they can get it, they've got all the advantages. The fact it's going to be a 9 a.m. Pacific time kick, right, for Washington out there. That's an advantage out there in of itself. So we'll keep that in mind. Coming up next, lots going on in the NFL yesterday. We'll talk to you about the Browns, the Steelers, the Bengals, and maybe even the Ravens a little bit if we have time. Maybe not. That's next. Morning Juice.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Around the world, Children International and friends like you are giving children in poverty a chance to grow and thrive, to be healthy, to succeed in school, and achieve great things. How do we do it? In the best way possible. By helping ensure access to healthcare, nutrition, and educational opportunities. And most importantly, by empowering youths and their families to get out of poverty and into employment through life skills, computer, and job training. The very tools they need to break the cycle of poverty and build futures full of promise. Because every child deserves a chance to realize their full and best potential. Learn more about how Children International is empowering children and families by going to children.org today. That's children.org.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
We got a higher home appraisal after we put away our African art and family photos.
Has this happened to you because of race or national origin? Contact HUD at hud.gov/fair housing. A message from HUD and the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
I hope you like that last segment. But tomorrow at 7 o'clock might be an even better segment, Bob. Schleg's Day tomorrow, right?
Yep, that'll be a fun one.
Question mark, I guess.
It's a beautiful mystery.
It really is. By the way, in the chat, Aaron says Tito's a James Franklin 97.1. He's surrounded by talent and can't get the job done.
Well, people always say that he's surrounded by talent. He did help. because it's the mantra. They have great players. They should be good. Well, in college, you have to recruit those great players.
You can win on talent alone.
Right.
You need to be able to be efficient, but he has brought that talent in there. So that's part of him now. They do have the mechanism set up now with NIL and everything where Penn State is in a good spot. But he was doing that even before. Like, he's bringing in Saquon Barkley, Micah Parsons, Abdul Carter. I mean, Ty Ward. I mean, they've had a lot of first-round. I would have to say outside of Ohio State, they probably have had the next most first-round draft picks over the last 10 years.
I was going to say, I bet they hover top 10 guys in the NFL right now.
Oh, yeah. And they've got some very impactful, big-time guys in the NFL.
Micah Parsons, not very good against the run, Bob, but he was getting after Joe Flacco yesterday.
I'll say, score notwithstanding, did the Bengals win yesterday?
What do you mean?
Flacco was 29-45, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. Is that a
It's
win?
better play than what they've had, but I still look at it, is that going to be the answer? Like, by the way, some of those catches Jamar Chase had, I could throw that ball. The one touchdown he had where I'm like, okay, that's sick.
That was DPI.
Oh, my
a
God.
little bit of hold in there.
A
And
little bit
matter.
of everything. He comes underneath him, grabs it. I'm like, wow, okay, there we go.
I think we'll know Thursday night.
Yeah.
You probably have to beat Pittsburgh at home. And I know Pittsburgh's 5-1, but I wouldn't say they're the most. Yeah, they're not the greatest 5-1 team in the league, I don't think. It's a game you probably, because then you'd be 2-5 if they lost. Oh, okay. There we go. They're not even. They're not the best 5-1 team.
They're not the best 5-1 team. No, they're not.
5-1.
Not the worst.
But if you're Cincinnati, you probably have to win that game. It's at
That's a tall
home. It's a
task.
I'm not
Short
saying
week.
they're
Yeah, I
going
know.
to. I'm
I
not
know.
saying they should. I'm just saying they have to.
If you want to be a playoff team, you need to win that game.
So
And
right
if
now,
they played them 10 times.
Right.
Probably lose 9.
Pittsburgh's
On
4-1.
Thursday night.
Bengals 2-4. Ravens 1-5. Browns 1-5. It got so bad for the Ravens yesterday. I mean, they had to play. It wasn't just Cooper Rush out there on that team. But Huntley came in as well for the Ravens in that game. And they lose 17-3 at home. Combined, the quarterbacks for the Ravens went 21 out of 34, Bob, for 117 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception. 34 passing attempts, 117 yards.
It's efficient.
It's better than the Jets.
Yeah, right.
Did I see the Jets finish with negative passing yards?
Yeah, because the sacks. Sacks come off passing yards in the NFL. They're net passing yards. So
Yeah, they don't go off the player. But yes.
I don't know that I've ever seen that. But we, as a country, I don't know. London's got to get some of these teams and watch these games and think, is this the best the NFL has to offer? Because these teams always suck. I mean, even Denver's not bad, and they looked like crap.
Fields was 9 for 17 for 45 yards.
Oh, you love when you put it. Listen, we want to send our best products overseas.
Here's the Jets.
I know you guys aren't used to too much scoring, so we're going to keep a nice 13-11 game or whatever the heck the final.
It was
I'm watching this.
13-11, that's what it
I'm
was.
like, this is really bad football. Champaign probably got on that plane like, gosh, we're not. That was awful. Thankfully, we got a win, and let's just go back to America, where hopefully we play better ball because that was gross.
That AFC West is tight. Chargers 4-2, Broncos
Chargers
4-2.
lose?
No,
they
beat
came back.
Miami.
That's
Yeah.
right. They were losing.
They were. Herbert had a nice Eli in the Super Bowl, first time against the Pats, where he was like basically sacked and about to go down, just kind of ran out of it and found McConkey there for a big play.
Chiefs 3-3, Broncos 4-2, Chargers 4-2.
Chiefs are fighting, literally.
So yes, they are. Who is the favorite? Who do you think's going to win that division? Chargers 4-2, Broncos 4-2, Chiefs 3-3.
So look at their schedules. Like, I thought the Chargers were going to run away with it, and then they should have lost yesterday. I mean, Miami was outplaying them, and if they would have been 3-3, that would have been tougher. I like the Broncos. I think they've got a good defense. I like their quarterback situation. I really like Champaign as a head coach. I'm going to say the Broncos, but that's a toss-up. Hey, don't count the Raiders out. They got to win yesterday.
The Raiders are now 2-4. You're right. They only
beat the
2
worst
games.
team in the
yes,
NFL.
They did.
Hey, you know what? That worst team beat someone last week, so remember that.
Fair point.
Right now, the one-loss teams in the NFL are the Bills at 4-1, Steelers 4-1, your Indianapolis Colts 5-1, Packers 3-1-1, Buccaneers 5-1. Those are your one-loss teams.
Man, they are good.
Tampa Bay 5-1, 2-game lead in that NFC South. They do look good. They really do. It's
find ways to win, man.
Yes.
Baker's good. I got Tom Moore over there showing him on the sideline. My wife goes, "How old is that guy?"
I saw that.
And I'm like, his eyes looked almost closed. I'm
Looks like he's 110.
And by the way,
he's in his 80s.
Is that the same Tom Moore who used to be the Colts offensive coordinator who was once
Peyton
asked
Manning.
after practice, why do you guys never get any of Peyton's backups more reps in practice? He said, boys, if 18 goes down, we're bleeped. And we don't bother practicing bleeped.
Yeah. He's the best. Baker said he's been perfect, I think, for Baker there because he's really good about that. But, yeah, that is the same Tom Moore, Bodie. You are correct. Who looked old then, and that was 20 years ago.
Vrabes and the Patriots are 4-2. Mm-hmm. And they've got two.
Big May looked really good.
Yeah.
They had a nice little slurp session with him.
Spencer Rattler might be not terrible. Not saying he's the long-term answer for New Orleans, but
that's quite the ringing endorsement there. He might be not terrible.
His goal should be, can I play well enough
to stay a backup?
To stay a backup for the next 10 years.
Chase Daniel.
Can I be that guy?
Yeah.
Go make $40 million over the next 10 years and not really do a lot of anything.
Speaking of that division, let's not count out the Carolina Panthers, who all of a sudden have Emmitt Smith in the backfield. Now, granted, if they could play Dallas every week,
yes. Well, the week before he had a big game too, though. So it's
that was against Miami, though, wasn't it?
Right? Yeah, a couple of Miami's won Super Bowls, not lately, but they've won Super Bowls. Shula, remember that?
Last undefeated team.
Yes.
If they could just play Dallas and Miami every week,
right.
Bryce Young would be.
I saw this tweet out there. Dallas does a great job of scoring 30 every week, but they also give up 30.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable that after the game, it was like they had the ball 8 times. 9, but the one was kneeled down heading into halftime. They got in the red zone, got in goal line to go situations even. They were inside the 10 5 times, but they only scored 3 touchdowns. It's like, yep, they're screwed. It's awesome.
Got to score every time.
Next 2 weeks for Vrabes, Bob. They're at the Titans, winnable. Right?
Winnable.
Okay.
They're the worst team in the NFL.
Host the Browns. Hold my beer. They're going to be 6-2, Bob.
Okay.
That's significant.
It is. I mean, and anytime you're 6-2, then you look at it's like, well, if we win 4 games,
about being 6-2,
yeah,
a chance to go 7-2, and if you can get those 4, like you can go find a way to go 4-5 over the last half of the season, get to 10-7. You're probably getting in.
Bob, at 6-2. Then let's say that those are both going to be wins for them.
Schedule game. Here we go.
They still get to play the Jets twice.
Oh, they haven't played the Jets at all?
No, they still get to play the Dolphins at home.
Okay.
And they're at the Bengals, host the Giants.
And
when do they play Cincy?
They play Cincy on November 23rd.
Okay.
Yes, November 23rd. It's a 1:00
Flacco
game.
will probably really be hitting his stride by then.
At Bengals. Or he'll be dead.
As the weather gets colder,
yes,
he heats up.
Yes, it will certainly have an effect on him there, I would think, as well. So now, though, and he mentioned schedule game. We're not going to play schedule game, but we will play Super Bowl favorites game. Who do you think right now are the 2 best teams in one each conference? Who do you think are the best teams in the AFC and in the NFC as we sit here today? I mentioned the one-loss teams being, Buffalo and Pittsburgh and Indianapolis in the AFC are the one-loss teams. You got New England 4-2. You've got Jacksonville 4-2, Chargers, Broncos 4-2, Chiefs 3-3. It's still the Bills, right?
I think the Bills in the AFC.
And they play tonight against Atlanta.
In the NFC.
I can't figure out the NFC. It might be Tampa Bay, Bob.
It might be Tampa Bay or Detroit. Like, I still really believe in Detroit a lot.
I'm still a big believer, and maybe I'm wrong for this, but when you look at their talent, I still believe in Philadelphia, too. I know
they've got some things going on.
They do. They kind of, I don't know, a lot of players' meetings and stuff like that.
That may or may not have happened. We didn't have a meeting. Like, A.J. Brown, what?
But they have these games, too, where it's like they just went down to Tampa Bay a couple weeks ago. They were blowing them out of the water, and then they couldn't complete a pass in the second half and almost blew the game. But I still think Philadelphia, if they can get some of that crap figured out, they're still as talented as anybody in the conference.
A.J. Brown said the meeting didn't happen. He said, just clear us up, this was a meeting or a sit-down. I said I don't recall because it got painted like there was tension. And he said, that's not true. I was walking my car, saw them, and stopped to talk, talking about talking about Hurts, and I guess it would have been what at that point, Smith.
Yeah.
And he said, I was walking my car, I saw them, and stopped to talk, nothing more. So it wasn't really I guess, this now we're getting to Bill Clinton territory.
Well, yeah, it was a meeting, just a casual conversation.
Right. Would you call that a meeting? Yes.
A couple of guys just hanging out, having fun.
Fan poll.
Barkley said they had a conversation, is what it was. I guess Barkley was in it as well. So, yeah. So, and Hurts said it was just us talking about the collective, talking about taking ownership for what we can, and talking about how we move forward as a team so we continue to find ways to win games. Yes, Philadelphia does have the most talent, but I wonder if there's something else going on behind the scenes that could prevent them, Bob, from being the best team in the NFC this year.
Yeah. And they've got whenever you're like, why? My point is with this, why is A.J. Brown getting into the semantics of what that was and outlining that for everybody? Because then now those guys have to go back and explain it. Like, when we had a meeting, just say, we talked.
Yeah.
We had a conversation. Doesn't matter, it was on the phone, in a meeting room, in the parking lot, sitting together at lunch. Who cares? Then we had a meeting. Well, it really wasn't a meeting per se. We all just kind of bumped into each other in the parking lot. Because then now everybody has to explain, I didn't send like a
Outlook invite.
An Outlook invite. Meet me here, the lunchroom or wherever the heck, or the team meeting room after practice, and we're going to hash this out. We're going to have an agenda and topics and everything else that we're going to go through. Like that, you're divulging far too much information than what the public really needs to know. We've talked. We're good. We cleared the air. Well, apparently it isn't all good because we didn't have a meeting.
Right.
Well, we did talk though. It was just kind of the part. So you have to get you just spent. We're talking about this now. Then people are talking about it nationally, like the semantics of what constitutes a meeting, and then you're going to get into what was discussed. Like those things aren't important. We talked about it internally. Everybody's on the same page. We're good.
Buffalo's at Atlanta tonight at 7:15 is the first game of this the two-game spread. Yes, not really double header, I guess, because the other one's at 8:15, right? So it's not really. We'd call it double. We call it two-game slate though. Chicago's at Washington at 8:15. Do you guys know what team has the worst plus-minus point differential in the NFL right now?
Tennessee.
Tennessee is second. They're minus 78. This team is minus 80.
Cleveland's lost some close games. Is it Baltimore? They got smoked a couple times, didn't they?
It is not Baltimore. It's a good guess by you as that one as well. Baltimore.
I just looked and saw who it was.
Baltimore's. The Browns are minus 64. The Ravens are minus 50. But the Bengals say hold my beer. They're a minus 80.
Oh, yeah, of course. They had a 3-week stretch there for
right. And so you look at it, and it's like the worst team in the NFC is minus 49 with the Saints. And we all think the Saints they're garbage.
Yeah.
And the Bengals are minus 80.
See if there's garbage touchdowns at the end. Don't ever those count on there.
The Steelers clinched the division, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like unofficially official.
And that's the thing. I don't know if you can win the wild card.
Out of the North, you mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Like you have Indian Jacksonville, who are going to just beat up on Tennessee, and we'll see what Houston can do if they can get it right. The AFC West, the Raiders are the only team below 500, and the Chiefs are in third at 3-3, so you feel like they're going to make a move. Denver's not going to be bad, and neither are the Chargers. Like, they're not going to be bad.
Right.
And then you got Buffalo and New England.
And then you've got Buffalo and New England. Yeah. So your AFC South gets 2, AFC West gets 2, AFC East gets 2. That's 6.
Right, and then you got the Steelers.
You got the Steelers. And by the way,
7.
That's saying the AFC West gets 2 and not 3.
Right.
With the Chiefs being in third place there.
And
that's what I'm saying. The math done math on this. Like, they only let 7 teams in. And 3 of them are wild cards.
They only let 7 teams in. Maybe this year they'll be like, you know what, though?
Chiefs, Jags, and Patriots are battling for 2 spots probably.
Yeah, 100%. And that doesn't count the Bengals, who are sitting there at
They're
2 and 4.
Yeah.
The minus 80.
Minus 80, right. That's
good news is they've lost 4 in a row.
You're right. After starting off season 2-0, and then
so they're due.
They had the fast start that they were looking for. just really kind of Burrow got hurt, and they just eroded after that.
This game they got coming up here against the Steelers, then they host the Jets and host the Bears. Then they're at Pittsburgh. They host New England, at the Ravens, at the Bills, host the Ravens.
Here's the thing. If their next 6 games, they need to go 3-3. My computer just lost
to get to 5-7.
To get to 5-7, where you can – I don't know why my stuff won't reload now. But if I can remember correctly, they've got the Steelers in there twice. That's going to be tough. That's 2. Jets and Bears, you've got to win both of those games.
Right.
Because after that, you have the Pats, the Ravens.
They're at the Bills and the Ravens.
And the thing you got going for you is the Ravens are bad, but they're going to probably have Lamar Jackson back.
I would think they got to play the Ravens twice in 3 games. It goes at Ravens, at Bills, host Ravens.
And the Ravens are a proud team, man. And they're not going to take kindly to you guys with Joe Flacco out there trying to beat you.
No doubt. Yeah, right. That's the thing. Yeah, Flacco out there, they're not going to.
So even if the Ravens are not great, that's still going to be a hard loss, a hard win, because your defense stinks.
Yeah.
Especially if Troy Hendrickson is hurt.
Yeah, exactly. If Hendrickson's out for, yes, you're right. And so it's going to be Jacksonville, New England, and the Chiefs battling for 2 of the 3 spots. I don't see Cincinnati getting back into it. I just can't see it happening. I don't know.
Speaking of point differential, do you guys know there are 2 teams tied at plus 49 for the best point differential in the NFC?
In the NFC?
Yep.
Plus 49 is one plus Tampa 49. Bay?
It is not. They're actually only plus 14. They keep winning on last score drive.
That's true.
I think someone who's blown somebody out. Detroit scored a lot of points.
Detroit's one of them.
Yeah.
And then the Seattle Seahawks.
There we go.
They've played really well this year.
Wow.
Sam Darnold's. Them moving on, the kind of sort of
Did Jackson
trifecta,
get hurt?
if you will.
No, Mecca got hurt.
Did he? Okay, I didn't see that. I missed that.
I thought Mecca went down.
But the whole, Minnesota decides to move off of Darnold to go with McCarthy. The Raiders taking in Geno Smith, and Seattle kind of winding up with Sam Darnold has worked out very well for the Seahawks this season so far.
Worked out well. All right, coming next, we'll wrap things up. Tell you what's got us juice. Morning Juice.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
For the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to over 1.5 million kids.
In tough times and good times, they're there when we need them most.
Please go online right now to loveshriners.org.
What would it take for my child to only miss half a day of school for treatment?
What would it take to find a cure for childhood cancer?
It would take all of us to come together to support the research.
Join us. Go to childrenscancer.org today.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
If you're looking for the inside scoop on the Buckeyes, you've come to the right place. This is Morning Juice.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? An opportunity to work alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation. Riverside Bank of Dublin, they've got the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they're going to help you reach your goals. Whether you need an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in to get to know them in person at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Before we get into this, Bob.
How ridiculous they screw the Lions all the time. And Mike Pereira goes out there and says that once you go behind the center, you can't know. It's when you put your hands under the center is when you're actually declaring the quarterback, and you cannot then leave that position in that post. And then how we sit there, the refs can't go to review on this, but they can have consult each other and have a meeting in which the NFL is talking to them into their earpiece, telling them what to call and how to adjudicate it. They've screwed the Lions on this multiple times, and I'm done with it. Dan Campbell's smarter than other people, and they just try to find ways because they love the damn Chiefs so much that they're going to find ways to take away what was one of the best and most exciting. Jared Goff bobbling a ball that bounces off the defensive back and then still somehow scores just because Dan goes for it on every fourth down. They should love that. That's the most exciting thing. You know, they always keep talking, oh, he's going again. I don't think there's any denying that. I mean, what's the most exciting scene in any movie? When someone pulls out a gun. What's the most exciting play? Michael Scott, by the way. What's the most exciting play in football? Fourth down. Ooh, they're either could take the field goal. No way. I like to live dangerously.
Those were some funny episodes. The drama stuff, the improv class he took or whatever, with Ken Jeong on that.
I'm going to have you. We'll film your improv class.
We could do that, Bob. That's not where I was going to go with this. But I was going to ask you before I hit the open. Are you going to get emotional today? Do I prepare myself for you to be emotional?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because sometimes, Bob, you get what's got you juiced, and you get very deep with me. Stop.
Take
Pause.
that.
No, wait.
Take
stop.
that. Cut that drop, buddy.
No. I'm just saying, though, Bob. Sometimes, though, it gets awfully deep. I'm just trying to prepare myself emotionally. If you're going to get deep with me.
I can't handle you.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Save me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Did you get tested? For what? For the ink? What inside of you? I don't even know. What's got me juiced in a negative way is that Lions the trash the NFL tried to throw out there last night, and listening to they can't have they can't talk to do replay, but they can't have a console. Get out of here. No one threw a flag in real time, and then they just magically think they've heard of the rules and everything else, and behind the center versus getting under center, which is different. There's a lot of ambiguity written into that, and they just didn't like the outcome, so they didn't want to see it, even though it was a terrific play. Ohio State taking care of business against Illinois. Everybody wanted to complain. You're like, hey, you'll win a game by 18 points. Like, what are we talking about? Like, on the road, a ranked team over number 17, and one of their scores comes at the very end. You're up by 24 points. You know, at the very end, the defense had played really well. Offense is very efficient. They run the football pretty well. They're pounding the rock. Julian Sayin, by the way, does a great job out there. You never see him miss anyone who's open. Offensive numbers aren't great, but they were working on a short field most of the game, and so that's Ryan addressed that. I know people want to see more explosion and more scoring. I don't think he's trying to go out there and do what he did to Michigan State a couple years ago with 7 touchdowns and a half. Their goal is to just bleed it down, win games, and we'll be explosive when we need to be explosive, and we'll figure out those things when we need to. But running a lot of plays isn't the ultimate goal of this Ohio State team, and so that's what you're beginning to see is them just trying to bleed clock. And by the way, they held the ball for 33 minutes of game time. Good for them, getting it done in a big way. They're 8 of 15 on third down. Illinois 4 of 14. Ohio State's playing great. That's got me juiced. Got a chance to watch a little high school football this weekend. Watch a little my kids, a little soccer, a little lacrosse. Had a good time doing it, and I enjoy when Ohio State's on the road because then I can sit down and watch all the rest of the games, which was absolutely tremendous. And then also we had AJ Hawk, the Hawks Locks event, their Halloween big soiree, if you will, to raise money for their fund at the James Cancer Hospital on Saturday night. And that was a lot of fun. Court and I went as Sharon and Ozzy, and I think I did a really good job. Sharon, just yelling for her. It was so good. She actually looked good with her little short hair wig. It kind of looked like her. Maybe she needs some short hair. But that's got me juiced, and in a big way. What's Schleg's got to say, Bode?
I'm 220. Would I want to be 210 and super ripped up and sexy? Yeah. But I want to still lift heavy weights because I want to be gas station ready. That's just a fact.
Oh, you're still sexy, Schlegs.
Well, but there we go. Little Ozzy for you.
What's got me just today, guys? Got a few things for you here. Saw this over the weekend on Saturday at his shoe launch, which I don't know, we'll be playing in them a ton this year, but that's okay. Jason Tatum was asked what his favorite moments have been about all his time in Boston. He
blowing
said,
his Achilles.
That's not number one. First off, that was in New York, Bob, technically. I don't think he listed that one, but he did say, I've had 2 kids, I got drafted there, and it's not even a question. The parade after the championship was the best day of my life, and I promise you we're going to have another one. So that had me super juiced. What also has me juiced, I kind of mentioned it earlier, Mr. Jerry Jones, our beloved owner and general manager, talking about how he's not going to flip off any fans in Carolina yesterday. He should be flipping off whoever's responsible, himself included, for that pathetic defense that they trot out there every Sunday, just absolutely ruining everything that Dak does every single Sunday. 2 offensive linemen starters are out. CeeDee Lamb's missed the last few weeks, and Dak keeps balling out. And it still doesn't matter because the defense is trash. That doesn't have me juiced. But nevertheless, what does have me juiced, though, guys, super juice, most important juice part of the week. It's the most important week of the regular season, hate week for Southern California as they come to South Bend for a potential last time, question mark. The contract between the two sides does run out after this year, and USC's been very scared about Bob. You don't even need to get me started on Lincoln Riley cowering out of this game and all offseason.
Maybe I should let him win so he can.
How about we don't, Bob? I hope we, back in the January, February range, USC hired our general manager away, and I'll say air quotes stole him because I think Notre Dame honestly upgraded in that position, if you ask me. But he was kind of running his mouth a little bit this offseason about how Lincoln Riley is the best head coach he's ever worked for and the best head coach recruiter he's ever worked with. And so I hope our beloved Marcus Freeman has a nice little surprise waiting for Chad Bowden and the Trojans of Southern Cal on Saturday night. Last time they came to South Bend, it was 49-20. I would take another 49-20 win, that's for sure. So, Tito.
Yes.
Why is you juice, sir?
After I completely and rightfully ripped LeBron for the Hennessy thing, did you see where a fan is suing LeBron James?
For what?
Okay.
Defamation.
Wait. Is Paul Pierce blaming LeBron James and the Hennessy for what happened?
Could very well be.
Wasn't his fault. May cause drowsiness, wasn't on the bottle.
Andrew Garcia, when it first came out, the decision to end all decisions coming the next day.
That was Andrew Ridgely.
Yeah, it could be him too. He jumped online and bought tickets for a game.
Listen, I don't feel bad for any of these fools who went and bought those final tickets thinking that the game of the season, watching his last game. If you're going to let LeBron James fool you in this, LeBron James, I have zero tolerance for that.
So he jumps on there and buys tickets for their last game against Cleveland in LA, which is like March 29th or something like that.
Sounds great.
And he comes out and said, "Look, I normally wait like 4 or 5 hours for a game to buy tickets. I don't ever do it like this quickly. But as soon as it came out, what else could it be? But he's going to retire. So
he's joining Team James, Team Hennessy. I mean, what?
He spent like $865 on a pair of tickets. He's come out now and said that he is going to. He said, if LeBron's unwilling to get served at his residence, the Beverly Hills address listed on the filing, I'm going to have a process server serve him at crypto.com arena during a game. This is not going away. He is suing him for that.
For what?
For being for misleading him with the decision. Let me see exactly what
pre-taped thing.
I understand that. And yeah, he has said that he felt like he was misled by LeBron doing what he did as far as saying he was going to do this, the decision to end all decisions. And so
decision to end all decisions.
That's what it was. And so he is suing him for like $865, whatever the number is on that one. Now, here's the thing.
If you got tricked by LeBron on this,
okay,
I think we've realized that he's a shameful promoter now.
Let me tell you
shameless rather
what LeBron should do, but he won't do. Because there was a spike in
life advice with Tito.
There was a spike in season ticket sales from the time he said the decisions, and then when the actual decision came out, there was a spike in season ticket sales. People bought tickets to Lakers season tickets to games, thinking this is LeBron's last season.
Yeah.
Okay.
They said that's what got Jack Nicholson to renew his.
This guy buys his tickets. Yes, he's still.
He's looking rough.
He's looked rough for a long time. He looks rougher. Anyway, though, Bob, what LeBron should do is say anybody who spent their money on that stuff, I'll buy the tickets back from you.
You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to send you a free complimentary bottle of Hennessy.
This is what you should do. This would be the ultimate LeBron thing to do, by the way, is say, if you show me you bought tickets to a game or the season.
Buy one, get one.
Between this time, from the time the tweet went out to the time of the decision, if you can show me that you purchased tickets for a game or a season or multiple games during that time, I will buy the tickets back from you.
I will give you a free laptop battery.
Then, Bob, after he buys all of them back, he says, I'm retiring at the end of the season. That would be the ideal way to do it right there. And then he sells and makes a profit on it. That would be the way to go about it. That would be the LeBron thing.
WWE?
That'd be great, Bob.
No, buy your tickets back. Then I'll say I'm retiring.
It's like the trading places thing at the end where it's like, buy, sell. That's what it'd be right there. I think that's what LeBron should do. Or at least for the good public, like just for good PR. Not that he needs it, but just offer to buy him back anyway. Or just say, you know what, I'll refund your money. Do something like that.
I'll refund your money. Let's see the Lakers now? Well,
I don't know if they bought it on the secondary market or if they bought it from the Lakers. Did. I would think. So I'm just saying, though, offer to refund their money. Say, I'll buy the tickets back from you, and then give away to charity or something if you want to. I don't care, Bob. Do something, though. You don't need whatever money was spent. Say there was $1 million spent on tickets. That's a big number. Say there were $1 million spent on tickets.
LeBron.
What's that? That's couch cushion, right? That's all that is. And just offer to do that for them. But I know LeBron won't do it. LeBron doesn't care. Mainly how I feel about it. But anyway.
By the way, Jack Nicholson, 88 years old, still alive.
He's hanging out with Jerry.
Yeah.
Would you? Okay, it's the thing that you mentioned Sammy Hagar earlier, turning 78.
No.
Jerry Jones.
Wasn't 78.
77? 77 or 78, one or the other.
You're right. It was 78.
Okay,
Good
78.
job out of you. You do listen to that.
Bob, I listen all the time, buddy. So if I asked you which one's the oldest of the three, I almost think Jerry Jones among the three of them. Hagar looks great for his age. Looks fantastic. Jerry Jones, not so much. Nicholson, definitely not so much. But it wouldn't surprise me if Jerry Jones is older than Jack Nicholson, though.
No, Jerry's 83. Jack's 88.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm saying, though. Yeah.
I'm just curious how Charlie Sheen's going to look when he's that old.
Ooh. I wouldn't say Jerry looks good, but the fact that he can still hold press conferences after games, which I'm not saying he should be doing.
Right.
But the fact that he could stand up there and do it, I mean, he's got that going for him. He's senile running the football team, but he thinks Michael Parsons was, useless. But
I don't know what our numbers were on
Martin Sheen, 85, still looking good. So I'm going to say, Charlie, hey.
Yeah.
He asked what his David Duchovny asked him what his
blood.
Yeah, David Duchovny sat down and did this podcast, but there was like a live audience with it. What his greatest regret was. Have you seen this?
I have not. Nope.
Oh, Charlie's was? Yeah. I thought it was greatest regret was, yeah.
Or didn't we talk about
talked
this
about it,
last
we
week?
talked about it, yeah.
The getting the tattoos.
The getting tattoos, yeah,
Take
right.
a pill,
That's
right?
Everything?
Get a pill to get the HIV away.
Right.
There you go.
Nah, tattoos.
We got up over 300 in the chat today. We appreciate that. Just what our numbers were on X and
thank you to Ben for getting us back up and running. I know the FM shows have been having, the FM show so far, only one show so far today, has been having some issues as well, but God bless Ben for getting it down here and at least getting, you know what? Ben is like a James Franklin, but also like a Ryan Day. He'll get us to the floor.
Right.
And eventually we're going to get the streaming
We are gonna
situation
get it.
figured
That's
out.
fair. You're
We're
right.
going to hit our ceiling.
That's fantastic. And the Juicers, thank you for chiming in. We appreciate that. Big show tomorrow. It's a Schlegel's Day, so rest up, please. Especially you, Anthony Schlegel, if you're listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, Juice.
I knew that the first hour and a half of my day was going to be excruciating pain. I mean, it was so much pain, it literally brought tears to my eyes.
Dad to a prominent Ohio basketball family, Satch Sullinger was determined to find relief. And that's exactly what happened.
QC Kinetics, they are awesome. This is my body that they're using to repair itself. And so who wouldn't want to go for that?
QC Kinetics natural treatments got Satch's attention. Finally, a way to get rid of that pain in his knees without going under the knife. And best of all, they used his own healing properties to give him relief.
Since I've been having the treatment, I can go up and down steps. So I'm getting better, and my golf game shows it because I'm starting to hit the ball a little bit better now.
Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics treatments. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus and call today for your complimentary consultation. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Again, 208-4544. QC Kinetics.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My good friends over at Sleep Better Columbus want you to know that if you're 65 or older, enjoying those golden years, but maybe you're dealing with restless nights, you need to listen up. Are you tossing and turning, struggling with sleep apnea, and that leaves you wiped out during the day? Well, it's time to reclaim your rest with Dr. Mark Levy at Sleep Better Columbus. As a leading provider in non-surgical sleep apnea treatments, Dr. Levy helps you breathe easier and sleep deeper with custom oral appliances, a comfortable alternative to CPAP. The best part is that Sleep Better Columbus is in network with most medical insurance plans and is a proud Medicare provider, so your coverage can work seamlessly with Sleep Better Columbus. And as we head toward the end of the year, don't let those benefits go unused. You don't want to wait to use your deductible. Act now to make the most of it with Sleep Better Columbus. Call Sleep Better Columbus today at 800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that number, 800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com for your consultation. Sleep better, live better, you've earned it.
Your child's oral health milestones matter. By age 1, see a pediatric dentist to establish good oral health habits. At 7, see an orthodontist to check your child's bite, teeth, and jaws. Around 15, visit an oral and maxillofacial surgeon to have your child's wisdom teeth examined. Remember, milestones met, healthy teeth set. Visit milestonesmet.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS-FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination.
And the clash between the Lions and the Chiefs in Kansas City and Game 1 of the ALCS last night in Toronto. In 20 minutes, we get 2 Monday Night Football games to talk about on the schedule, including the sides, the totals, and the props that we like. And finally, our best bets come your way at 8:40. I'm Michael Jenkins. She is Chelsea Messenger. Welcome to our audience on Stadium. We always stream our final hour, and you can do so by downloading the Bally Sports Live app or going to ballysportslive.com. Also streaming our final hour on X as well. And we have a ton to get to in this hour. So let's start in Kansas City. The Chiefs down in the Lions 30-17 last night at Arrowhead. The Chiefs laying 2.5. The Chiefs minus 135 on the money line. And the under hits with the total set at 47. Lions come in on a 4-game winning streak, but the Chiefs put that to an end.
Hollywood Brown in motion. He's got on the pop pass. Hollywood Brown to the end zone. Touchdown, Casey.
Mike Tirico with the call on NBC. Mahomes throws for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns. Brown with 2 touchdowns on the night to go along with 1 for Xavier Worthy. But after the game, and this is what will dominate the headlines today, a fight breaks out.
A little altercation going on. I don't know what started it.
Well, Brian Branch was involved in something, and there was a little exchange, and then people came running. I think that was Juju Smith-Schuster who came running into that.
Just glanced up and saw 2 Chiefs, 1 Lion, and then, of course, everybody coming on the field at the end of the game. And look, and there is a pretty significant brawl going on here, the back end of that over to the right.
So what caused this melee? Apparently, Brian Branch at the end of the game ignored a high five from Patrick Mahomes. Juju Smith-Schuster saw this, confronted Branch about it, and that led to Branch smacking Smith-Schuster in the face mask. Branch also said after the game he was upset because Smith-Schuster blocked him in the back right in front of a referee. It wasn't called. He apologized, and so did Lions head coach Dan Campbell.
Start with this. I love Brown.